What just happened at Nashville is something nobody in NASCAR saw coming. And if you follow Denny Hamlin even a little bit, you need to hear this right now, because what he did after getting slapped with one of the most brutal penalties of the 2026 season is unlike anything we have seen on that track in a very long time. We are talking about a moment that is already being called one of the greatest comebacks in recent NASCAR history. And the decision Hamlin made in the middle of it all is what every racing fan, every competitor, and honestly every person chasing a goal in life needs to understand. Don't go anywhere, because this story gets even better. And hey, before we get into it, if you are not subscribed to this channel yet, hit that subscribe button right now. We cover all the biggest NASCAR moments, breaking decisions, and stories that actually matter the moment they happen. So here is what went down. It is Sunday night, June 1st, 2026. The Cracker Barrel 400 at Nashville Superspeedway. The race has already been delayed 80 minutes because of rain. The crowd is restless. The drivers are sitting in their cars waiting. And when that green flag finally drops, Denny Hamlin, starting from the pole position, surges forward. He crosses the start-finish line nearly half a second ahead of the entire field. For just a moment, it looks like he is going to dominate this race from the very first lap. Then NASCAR comes on the radio and says two words that every driver dreads. Penalty here. Hamlin had jumped the start. He was black flagged for launching 3 car lengths ahead of the pack before even reaching the restart zone. And just like that, the man who started first was being sent dead last. A pass-through penalty, all the way to the back of a 38-car field. The advantage of starting on pole, gone in an instant. Now here is the part that reveals everything about who Denny Hamlin really is. He said absolutely nothing on the radio. Not one word. No frustration, no arguing, no blaming the team. He simply drove down pit road, served his penalty, and rejoined the race in last place. His crew chief, Chris Gale, would later say it was not a smooth day at all. And Hamlin himself admitted afterward that they certainly should not have won that race on speed alone. But what happened next is the part that is shocking people across the NASCAR world. Because instead of panicking, instead of making desperate moves trying to claw back too quickly, Hamlin made a decision that flies in the face of everything you might expect from a driver in that situation. He chose patience. He chose to trust the process and let the race come to him rather than force it. That single mental decision, made quietly while sitting dead last with the entire field ahead of him, is what ultimately won him the race. Think about that for a second. You are in last place. You have worked all week to prepare for this race. You qualified on pole. You were in the perfect position. And within 2 laps, it is all gone because of a jump start. Most drivers fall apart in that moment. Most people fall apart in that moment. The pressure to make up for lost time almost always makes the situation worse. But Hamlin, 45 years old and in his 21st year of cup racing, knew something that takes most people a lifetime to learn. He said it himself after the race. The game slows down when you have been through enough. He knew that he had failed in situations exactly like this one far more times than he had succeeded, and he was not going to repeat those mistakes. The race itself was absolute chaos. 12 caution periods, a record 31 lead changes among a record 15 leaders, brake failures knocking out multiple competitors. The kind of race where anything can happen, and usually does. And while the field was tearing itself apart, Hamlin was quietly, methodically moving forward. He stayed clean. He stayed patient. He stayed out of trouble when trouble was everywhere around him. With 12 laps to go, his Joe Gibbs racing teammate, Christopher Bell, had the lead. Chase Briscoe, another JGR teammate, was pushing hard. And then came the final restart. 3 Joe Gibbs racing cars, all in contention, all racing each other for the win. It went 3 wide, and in that final lap, on the backstretch, Hamlin found the gap. He put his number 11 Toyota exactly where it needed to be and took the lead. He crossed the finish line 115 thousandths of a second ahead of Bell to win the 2026 Cracker Barrel 400. Starting first, going to last, and coming back to first. His exact words in victory lane. His 62nd career win, his second win of the 2026 season, and the first time Toyota had ever won a Cup Series race at Nashville Superspeedway. Now, here is the deeper layer to this story that most people are missing. This is a man who is one win away from matching Kyle Busch's 63 career win record. This is a driver who has been one of the most consistent performers in NASCAR for over 2 decades and still does not have a championship. The pressure that rides on Denny Hamlin every single week is enormous, and yet after getting hit with a penalty that could have derailed his entire night, he produced what many are already calling one of the most impressive mental performances of his career. What is the lesson here? It is not just about NASCAR. It is about how you respond when something unfair happens to you. When the penalty is not what you planned for. When you suddenly find yourself at the back of the pack through no major fault of your own, or even when it is entirely your fault. The instinct most people follow is to panic, to overcorrect, to try and make up everything immediately. And that instinct almost always makes things worse. Hamlin already knew this. He had learned it the hard way, through years of close calls, late race losses, overtime heartbreaks, and race wins that slipped through his fingers. And on this night, all of that hard experience paid off in the most dramatic way possible. The 2026 NASCAR season is shaping up to be one of the most competitive in recent memory. Tyler Reddick currently leads the standings, but Hamlin just closed within 97 points after this Nashville win. Michigan is next, and Hamlin won there last year. The momentum is real, and the championship picture is starting to look very interesting. If you want to stay ahead of every major development this season, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications on, because this race was just one chapter, and the story of Denny Hamlin's 2026 season is far from over.